So unless you've been living under a rock for the past couple of years, you've definitely heard of Twitter. In this video, we're going to talk about how to use Twitter to market your indie game. So number one, we're going to talk about Twitter etiquette. If Facebook is a private house party, Twitter is like an open bar. Unlike Facebook, which has its discovery process organized around people that you know, Twitter has its discovery process around things that you find interesting, topics or hashtags. Just like you might search Facebook for a person, you would search Twitter for a topic. This has several key advantages, and it makes marketing on Twitter significantly easier and more effective than other places around the internet because most people are naturally organized and searchable by their interests. When people follow you, they are giving your content access directly to their feed. Everyone sees every tweet in their feed. There is no algorithm, so it's important that you respect your followers' feeds by not repeating the same content over and over again rapidly. You should treat hashtags just like you do your followers as well. Don't abuse them or post too much too often. It's also highly frowned upon to use auto DM features that message new followers directly. People also work much better with an image or animated GIF to show off something cool. You always want to post something that looks cool and has the potential to get retweets or likes, but you don't do that by asking for them or annoying people, you do that by just posting cool stuff. If your Twitter was a TV channel, you would want to have content that everyone wanted to watch. If you had crappy reruns of old stuff that people had already seen before, they're not going to subscribe to your channel. You get the idea. The posts that get the most engagement on Twitter usually are videos or animated GIFs. Anything that looks cool or has movement or can really show off a key mechanic works fantastic. Static pictures generally work better than tweets, but you'd still want to stick to movement if you can. And number two, let's talk about the best times to post on Twitter. According to Buffer, the guys that schedule social posts for a living, the best times to post a tweet are A, if you want to tweet for clicks, post during the evening hours, and B, if you want to tweet for retweets and favorites, you want to do it during the morning. Now, Buffer is a great tool to actually schedule your posts, so if you're awake one night at 2 a.m. and you have a bunch of ideas for a bunch of pieces of content, the best thing to do is actually schedule it out throughout the day during the best times to post rather than post it all at one time, because if you post it all at one time, your followers can get annoyed or things can happen. You just want to make sure that you spread out your content and post relevant content at relevant times a day. So for number three, let's talk about the hashtags that are best for marketing your game. Hashtag indie game and indie games are both for people that love indie games, so they're actively looking for cool new games from unknown developers. You can use these hashtags to show off your game, promote your devlogs, or generate traffic to your game HQ. You can also use hashtag gaming to reach people that are interested in gaming in general, but sometimes that means you're competing with AAA titles as well. Don't let that scare you though. With the right content or image, you can stand out no problem. And if you want to maximize the exposure you get from a tweet, you want to make sure you post a video or animated GIF or something that looks really cool and really unique to your game. That'll catch eyeballs, make people retweet, and make people click. Now, as a general rule, the more general the hashtag, the less effective it will be for your game. So for example, hashtag gaming or hashtag indie game is going to be less effective as hashtag I love RPGs if you're making an RPG, or so on and so forth. So you always want to find and use the hashtags that are relevant to your specific game that have players of your genre looking at them every day. There are a couple different ways to research. You can check links in the description for a couple of those tools. So number four, let's talk about case-specific hashtags. These would be hashtags like hashtag Steam for games on Steam or hashtag made with Unity for games using the engine. You can also use hashtag game dev or indie dev hour every Wednesday if you're looking for feedback. But again, developers are not your target market, so I wouldn't expect these tags to have their wallets out. So number five, we're going to talk about active outreach, which is different than the way most developers use Twitter. In addition to posting places where people are actively looking, you can actually post and reach out to people on Twitter that you think will be a good fit for you. For example, you can tweet or direct message journalists if you can't find their press email. You can watch what people say about similar games and reply to them directly. You can even use Twitter as a research tool to see what people think about marketing methods or specific genres. Whatever genre your game is, there are people out there right now posting on Twitter that would like to buy your game. Your job is just to find them. So lastly, number six, we're going to talk about Twitter advertising. Now, advertising isn't super popular because a lot of indies don't have very big wallets, but it's very important that you understand how powerful this stuff is. So Twitter launched its ad platform fairly late into the life cycle of ads, but sponsored tweets are surprisingly effective. They're surprisingly simple to set up, and you can target exactly who you want to see your content. How to specifically set up Twitter ads and use them are going to be a whole new video in the future, but for now, you can get started at the Twitter Ad Center. I have a link in the description. Quick note, only post ads to your game HQ and preferably capture their info email address when you do. Never send them to a social account or blindly somewhere that you can't track their usage. You always want to make sure that you know where your money's going, and if you're paying per click, you want to make sure that person sees a direct link to buy your game. You don't want to have any barriers in between them and the buy button. So that's it for this video on Twitter 101 for indie game marketing. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them on Twitter. Just go ahead and tweet me at Tim Ruswick and I'd be happy to answer.